Hello everybody, my name is Bricky, and as per the usual videos like this, if you don't got some food, you better go grab some, because this is an episode of Fireside Bricky that I have not done in quite some time, and it is very nice to be back on the horse and really kind of getting back into it. So, as you could probably tell, I'm playing one of my more favorite maps of the, well, maybe I guess you could call it the Fireside series, because a lot of the Fireside Bricky stuff has been Nazi zombies based. However, of course, for this one, I am looking towards the beauty that is Origins, my personal favorite zombie map. One of the few maps in this entire, I guess you could call it a trilogy if you want to call it the Black Ops trilogy, even though they are making another one. But in the group of 3 games we currently have, is my favorite zombie map, and in my opinion, a good example of a way you can create a zombie map that can be a combination of both very, maybe not confusing, but have a lot in it and not be too much, you know? Because some of the times they just overbloat stuff with all this crazy amount of things and it becomes a little bit too annoying. And don't get me wrong, good old Origins has a lot in it. A lot going on. But it seems to be the example of one of those ones that actually did it correctly and made it quite enjoyable. So, with that, we are moving forward with, of course, this video. It is kind of nice doing these videos because just Nazi zombies has always been one of my favorite pastimes. I even streamed it a couple times, but I played it with my buddies. God knows how many times. It used to be our big thing. Pretty much every time we were ever hanging out together, we would go ahead and spend time playing Nazi zombies for a bit. You know, it's just really good. Anyway, I'm sure you may be wondering a little bit about, or maybe you might not be wondering necessarily, but as you have seen on the channel, I have been really doing some big changes when it comes to, well, maybe not changes yet, but I've been finishing a lot of stuff. Now, for a while, it was a lot of like, hey, gameplay, commentary, face cam, bricky stuff, you know? And that was just kind of the stuff that I ended up doing for a long period of time. Whether it was League of Legends, Overwatch videos, Dead by Daylight, For Honor, and everything in between. But I have since been under a little bit of a personal change, or at least a want to change. Now, as of lately, I have been putting a lot of my time and effort into making different, or finishing different series that I currently have. As you've noticed, there have been a lot more fast frames lately. There have been a very large amount of Overwatch one-trick guides. The Dead by Daylight case file series has ended, with the clown being the final one. And with all of these things, I occasionally get asked why. Why are you ending all of your different series? And that is an answer that I haven't really mentioned much on the channel, but I wanted to go ahead and tell you all here. Because Fireside Bricky... Oh, man. Alright. Bad start. Bad start. Bad start. What even is that? Is that monkey bombs? Oh, damn. Alright, bad start. I always forgot that Black Ops 2 has double hit zombies that like really hurt. Damn. But oh yeah, it was okay. But what I've been doing is adjusting the content a lot because personally I have always wanted to strive to make some better stuff, but never been able to really stick with it for some time. And I've been noticing a couple trends, mainly some stuff around vlogging, the things that the vlogs I've made, right? The vlogs I've made, like the PAX vlog, the E3 vlog, the Deus Vult Ye Heathens vlog, some rather enjoyable videos that not only were fun to make, but also got a surprisingly solid amount of views and watch time. And that made me kind of interested, because I was like, wait, well, these guys got all this, like, solid watch time and stuff. Is this possibly something that people want to see more of? And the answer is sorta, but not 100%. And I was thinking of a way to kind of really push more content that I want to... not only that I want to make, but I find enjoyable. Content that I'm proud of. That's a big thing, is content that I am proud of. And as of lately, I mean, it may have been steering away from that a little bit. You know, I was kind of just filling quotas. I was just making a YouTube video because I needed to make a YouTube video. And don't get me wrong, case files, Overwatch, things like that are enjoyable. I do like them. But I wanted to adjust. And so, the whole reason I'm doing all this is because of closure. I want to end all of my major series and really get into some new stuff. I'm nicknaming it Bricky 2.0. And now what Bricky 2.0 entails... Is this the right foot? Wow, neither of them seem to be the right foot. That's scary. Dog. 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 What are you doing? Okay. Anyway, Bricky 2.0. Now, what Bricky 2.0 entails is a much larger departure into new kind of content. Higher quality content, memes aside, but actual higher quality content. And this involved me ending all the other series, but I did just want to end them. Now, there was only one that I'm legitimately just saying, all right, it's over, bye, and that was So You Want to Main. Now, So You Want to Main was already on its way out. That should have been pretty obvious. I was not feeling it anymore. I was not feeling League. And it was obviously on its way out. It was like 5 months between the York and Swain one. And so, you know. Wow. Wow. Okay. That's... Wow. Alright, no, we're going again. We're going again. I don't care if this is going to be a really long video. I don't even care. We're going again. Wow. Wow, I am rusty. I keep forgetting that they have that double hit thing. It really does get me. Like, a lot. Because it doesn't happen in the third game. Because in this one, 2 hits and you're down. But in the third game, and I think even the first game... You have to take 3 hits to be downed, and it helps you when those zombies do that double like whack whack thing. Damn. Well, I just feel like an absolute nincompoop. Anyway, besides So You Want to Main, like I said, wasn't feeling it. I was ending pretty much everything else. I was ending good old fast frames. I'm ending ending. So oh wait, I have to leave. Oh, wow, that was a bad start. Oh, I'm going to restart this one. I can't restart. What? Dog. There's no restart button. What? There's always a restart level button. Where'd it go? Why is it gone? What? It's okay. It's okay, Bricky. It's okay. It's okay. Just let it happen. Just let this happen. Just let this happen. Oh my god. Okay. Fast frames. Overwatch 1 trick guides. The For Honor volcano guides. So You Want to Main. Dead by Daylight case file. P.O. box openings will be ending very soon. Story times. I'm going to make one last one. Fireside Bricky. God, what else is there? And then well, that's all the series. But I also promised that I would make certain videos that I never ended up making. And I want to finish those videos too. Finishing up good old, the Mr. Black from Dark Souls 3 PvP stuff. Finally going and fighting the amygdala or amygdala, however you call it, because I actually don't really know how you call that guy. Finally going over there and fighting that dude. Then... I think that was it. Oh, Aramusha montage I wanted to make from For Honor. And once all those things are done, I will have made every single video that I had promised I would have made. I promised I would make. And with that, I can pull myself into this new age of content that I want to make. Because it's closure. Everything has been completed. And the new age of content is what I suppose could worry some of you, depending on what the type of thing is. And what it is really putting more effort into, yes, gaming content, but also personal content at the same time. And this is not even scratching the surface now that I think about it. But oh crap, I didn't buy Revive Cola. Ah shit. Okay, I could probably still live. I say I could probably still live, but I have a feeling that it won't matter. But so it's that kind of content combining with it's like a hybrid. So obviously the two biggest things on YouTube are vlogging and gaming. Oh my god. Oh, I do not want to die. Vlogging and gaming. And I wanted to find a way to combine them. I thought it would be an excellent idea to figure out a way to combine the two. So I was thinking about doing something like I'm downstairs maybe, and I'm making like coffee. And I have all these nice shots of me making coffee, but while I'm making coffee and going about my day, I'm talking about game stuff. And then it transitions to gameplay content. And then it moves from to there, and then back. And then there's like a big conversation. And it's high quality. It's actually having shots, frames. It's having, being showing you like my life at the same time of discussing and playing games. And that's what excites me. So, for instance, I had an idea for one already, which was, I don't want to use the word death because that just sounds morbid, but the decline of skill-based cosmetics in games. The kind of stuff where you go, like, remember on Call of Duty 4, when you went into a Call of Duty 4 lobby and you saw a guy with the 10th Prestige Golden Cross, you were just kind of like, oh wow, I actually want this. You were kind of just like, oh crap, oh crap, oh god. It gave you that sense of dread. And that doesn't really happen anymore. There are very few games that seeing a character or a player with a certain outfit or a certain item instills a sense of fright. You see, the thing is that certain games have it's always either a RNG based or a timed base reason. So, for instance, let's say Overwatch, right? If you have this really cool Hanzo skin, it's not because you're a great Hanzo, it's because you got lucky in a loot box. And if you have a gold Hanzo weapon, that's kind of cool, but you can use that golden weapon on anybody. Maybe you just like Hanzo, but you're not great at Hanzo. There's no... Oh, yes, thank God. There's no, like... get 5,000 headshot kills as Hanzo and get your platinum bow. So when you see someone with a platinum bow, you're just like, oh crap. Now some games have something like that. Dead by Daylight has Prestige, which is kind of nice. Bloody Clothes can be kind of frightening. Legacy Prestige is cool, but that's still a timed exclusive. Warframe has Excalibur Prime, but that's a timed exclusive type thing. You had to be a founder. It's a time-based thing. Funny enough, the only game that I can think of that kind of has that same sense of dread is Fortnite. And even so, you could still get it with just money. But it's not RNG in Fortnite. And the idea is that, like, oh, if you see someone with a John Wick, you're like, oh god, oh god, oh god, it's a John Wick, Oh, god damn it. And it freaks people out. And you don't really, obviously, it's not the same as it used to be, but you don't really have that kind of, like, culture anymore, You don't have that, like, skill-based, skill-based kind of fighting culture and cosmetics. And anyway, I'm getting off topic, but that's one of those things I want to talk about, and I was going to do like this hybrid vlog discussion about it, and really do high quality content with it. Like I bought myself a new camera for it, like a really nice one, because I wanted to get a nice DSLR when I'm going to make these shots. I got a Panasonic Lumix GH5. Any of you who are big into photography and stuff like that, you probably know what that is, and it's a chunk of change. And I'm really excited to use it. But combined with that, And that's what I want to do, but it's not even just that, because it's a lot more than just that. I say 2.0, Bricky 2.0, because it involves so much more than that. It involves, yes, the change in content, but it also involves the upgrading of like details in my streams and in my YouTube content, like revamping like just simple things like the description box in my YouTube videos, like adjustments in artwork, upgrading the Twitch stream, adding animations for subs and donations and such. That was scary. And more than just that too. It just keeps on going. Oh, and the biggest thing, the launch of my website, and with the launch of the website, the launch of my merchandise site. So the launch of my merchandise line. So I'm gonna finally have legitimate merch that I'm gonna be selling. I got 2 shirts already ready to go. I'm just finishing up the samples and ordering it. And when Bricky 2.0 comes out, it's gonna have that too. And it's this massive change and all that stuff. Like and it's even some smaller things like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, finally upload at least 1 photo on Instagram every single day. You know, like it's effort. It's a lot of effort being put into it. And it's kind of scary. I'm gonna be honest, it's a little scary, but if it works out well, it can be just awesome. Just awesome. So with that is what's going on with all of the craziness that is the Bricky 2.0 stuff. And I've said this on stream a couple of times. I've already discussed this whole change on stream, but I've never made a discussion about it on video, because I actually plan on making this big old video talking about it. I'm going to call it Bricky 2.0 or Bricky Patch 2.0 or whatever I plan on calling it. Yeah, that's the whole goal, and it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be so good. It is so exciting to have something like that going on and really put the effort into it. So that's what I kind of wanted to discuss with it. That's what this Fireside Bricky is a little bit about, and also not just, oh, that's your name, and not only just about, but also kind of the like, hey, are you wondering why all this stuff is going on? This is why. And not only is it just a wonder, but also like, hey, this is what's going to be going on in the future. It's just a giant revamp, and it's exciting. And you know, I've really been excited about this kind of stuff, obviously, but I've been in a good mood as of lately. I've been in a pretty solid mood. Now, I've always considered myself a decently positive guy. I feel like that's a large portion of what I have, is a lot of positive content. Like, obviously, yeah, I'll get salty at things plenty. I get salty at Dead by Daylight and For Honor quite often. And I get very mad at some of the people who play that too, which is, I mean, I kind of feel bad sometimes. I feel like I shouldn't give the higher tier players of For Honor as much shit as I do, and same with Survivors and Dead by Daylight. I feel that I've probably gone too harsh, and I kind of feel bad for it. But at the same time, I still kind of consider myself a decently positive person, and I like trying to keep that going. And I've been not only taking a little bit of a breath from social media in its own right, but I've been thinking, one thing that I've always done, or not even not thinking, but doing one thing that I've always done in most of my time living, is asking why. And that's kind of a theme I've been trying to keep lately, is asking why. Asking why about stuff. Now, that may seem very, very just random. Asking why. What the hell does that mean? Well, so things like Twitter, right? Things like Twitter, things like just the world right now is very decisive. Or not, decisive is the wrong word. Divisive. It's very divisive right now. And because of the nature of social media and how the world has been going, you get a very heavy, divisive kind of culture going. It's a very us or them mentality right now. And it's pretty disappointing that it is that way. Oh dear. Let go of me, please. Thank you. Oh, he's still alive. Sorry. Got to take a quick breather here while I fight the Panzer Soldat. Isn't Soldat Russian? I mean, obviously this is a German. Obviously this is a German creature or whatever. The Panzer means tank, but I don't know. Whatever. I for some reason I always thought maybe Soldat sounds similar in both German and Russian. I don't know. That's scary. But naturally everything is right now a very us or them. And it's been that way for a while, man. And it kind of sucks because you lose out on a lot of why. You lose out on a lot of asking why. And that's just such an important thing, is to ask why. Now, Twitter in its own right is a bit of a problem when it comes to this, because you can't formulate a full opinion on Twitter. You can formulate a partial opinion or the final part of an opinion. You can't formulate an entire opinion. So you either got to make a giant thread, or you just say what you think, and you kind of lose out on a long amount of stuff, you know? So, especially politics. Right now, politics is of course, it's disgusting at the moment. It's such an annoyance. And I keep myself completely out of politics because, like I said, and I've said this for quite some time, divisive. You can't have an opinion on something without it causing a problem. Nowadays, in this day and age, people will not accept someone with an opposing political opinion. It doesn't matter who they are or anything, because it overstretches. They always overreach. And that's one of the things that causes destruction of an argument, is when you overreach. And especially when you paint in a broad brush. Like I said, us or them, us or them. It's always us or them. And painting in that broad brush devalues yourself in an argumentative type state, if you want to make some kind of debate. You know, it's if you vote Republican, you are a white supremacist fascist who's like racist and hates minorities. You know, if you vote left, you are a complete libtard snowflake who thinks free speech is completely stupid. There's no winning of any kind. There's no ability to win. You're either one or the other. And that's the thing, is that due to the nature, especially of American politics, this is not completely only American, but it is definitely part of it. Saying it's not all, or saying that it's not completely like, it's every single thing is part of the problem. Don't paint it with a broad brush, but American politics is definitely a large portion of it, and it is in some other politics. Is the idea that, it's one or the other, because that's the party thing. Republican, Democrat. You can't be independent. Independent's not allowed. And if you're a centralist, people look at you weird. You may not like the candidate for Republican side, but you'd rather have them than the other, or you'd rather have the left than the right. You'd rather have one or the other, and therefore, maybe you're hoping for another thing. Maybe you're hoping for some other reason. That's why you're voting. Maybe it's just you like the other person less than the other person, but you still hate them both. There's no winning. But you're painted in that massive broad brush regardless. It's always a us or them mentality. And you can't win in that sense. So, it becomes this massive devaluing of the argument, and it's really difficult for someone who wants to just try their very best to not go to conclusions. Like me, I try to wait. I try to back up. No one backs up nowadays. No one backs up. Everyone just goes super hard right now. And no one ever takes the effort to back up, to wait, to think, to ask the why. You know, if somebody votes for a certain party or somebody says a certain thing regarding someone else, I have to back up, because even no matter how bad, no matter how malicious, no matter how problematic that statement could mean right there, I have to wonder, why did they say that? What is the reasoning? And when you think that, you really start to gain more perspective, you know? It's like, okay, well, why are they so angry about something? What is the reason? Because there's like a million possibilities for the reason. And you don't want to just completely immediately make assumptions, because what's the term? You know, you make an ass out of you, make an ass out of me. So it's the same, like, here's a good example. Any kind of person... or I don't want to use the word hater, because hater is simply just, I hate that word. It bugs the shit out of me. Because it's just a way to devalue someone else's argument, you know, because you're just so untouchable, you know. I try not to use it as much. And obviously there are actual people who legitimately will just hate for the sake of hating. But at the same time, y'all, it's the issue is, like, you have to think, like, why? Why are they doing that? Why are they hating for the sake of hating, right? And, you know, that's when I never put anyone on blast for doing so. Any kind of quote-unquote hateful stuff, hateful comment. If I get just a ridiculously hateful comment, and just horrendous, absolutely the worst, wishing death on my entire family, you know, whether it be on stream or on YouTube, I have to back up and I have to think to myself, okay, why? Why are they doing this? Because there are very few legitimately, like, normal adults who will say something like this, you know? And especially not in person, not even close in person. So, oh wow, I got all the fire disc parts? Damn. So, you have to ask the why. Why would they do this? Well, are they upset with one of my videos? Possibly. That could be it, you know? But it probably isn't enough to really make something that crazy of a statement. So, okay, we'll rule out that sort of thing. Could it be that they're having a horrendous day? Could they have just gotten fired? Or perhaps they have a family member pass? Or, you know, is it something along those lines and they need to vent their frustration on the internet? I mean, that could be the case. And if that's the case, I'd gladly accept the burden. I'd gladly accept the burden for something like that. Because if it's something that terrible, then you know what? Fine. I can be a punching bag. I'll take it. You know? Is it something else? Are they a kid? Like, are they a kid? And that's one of the biggest ones I have to ask. Because, man, I was 14. I was 12 years old. And I did some stupid things when I was that age. I said some stupid stuff. Yeah, I fucked your mother. Absolutely I did. Over Xbox Live and shit. Oh, hell yeah. You know, like, absolutely. You know, I'm not, like, untouchable in that sense. I'm not any better. Yeah, of course. I've said some really dumb stuff, and if I have to hold a 12-year-old accountable for what they say at this point, oh, that's just silly. You know, maybe they're just young and they don't understand boundaries. Maybe they weren't raised very well and they don't get boundaries. You know, maybe their parents weren't that great when it came to raising them. And even then, I have to ask myself, oh, wait, right, I need the damn record. And even then, I have to ask, okay, well, why were they raised this way, you know? Could it be perhaps that they... Oh, that sucks. Could it be perhaps that they... I don't know, that maybe their parents was like it was a single mother or something, and she had just a horrible life, and world was constantly battering her down, and she did the absolute best she could, you know. You know, and there's too many factors. So I never want to put anyone on blast on the internet. You know, I don't want to quote tweet some person who gets mad at me on Twitter and be like, "Oh, look at this hater, folks." Like, no, there's too many factors. You have to ask why. Why? You know, why are they doing that? And when you do that, and the thing is that there's a reason why no one asks why, because it's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to, oh, hey, there's the yellow disc. It's hard to take a step back, you know, because it's so easy to just put everyone in a box. Everyone in the world wants to be in a box, you know? Everyone is being forced into a box. Everyone's a us or them, you know? That's what everyone tries to do nowadays. And because it's so easy to just be like, wow, screw you, man. You're obviously a problem. You are the enemy. Goodbye. It's so easy. And it makes you feel better in a subconscious type thing. It makes you feel better by doing that, by saying that. Because you don't have you don't feel as shitty if you do that. You just think, oh, this person is obviously just this like kind of guy. You know, their opinion doesn't matter. Whatever, man. And it just makes it easier for you. It makes it so much easier. It's harder to ask why. It's harder to see the bigger picture and all this type of stuff, you know? And some, oh, there it is. And but it's right. It's right to see it in this way. It's right to ask why, because when you ask why, you see probably the actual picture. You know, you see the full thing. And I don't know, man, but like the world is such a very hateful type place. Everyone wants to be mad. Everyone loves to be outraged about something. There's so much outrage about every possible thing. You know, everyone wants to burn someone at the stake for God knows how many reasons, you know? And it's always so back and forth hypocritical, you know? The same people who want to completely burn PewDiePie's body through the streets for saying the N-word are the same people who are just completely 100% like on Chris Brown's dick, because like, nah, man, he's just misunderstood. What he did wasn't what it seemed like type thing, you know? And it's always that thing, you know. You can't like. It's just so crazy to the extent of what people will forgive and what people will accept for. Hello? Oh, there it goes. To somebody they like, you know, and that's fine. I am okay on forgiveness, you know. I am perfectly okay on forgiveness if people show signs of forgiving, you know. And that's good. I'm okay with that type of stuff, you know. And I want to see a better side of people, you know. I want to see the good side of people that may have done bad things. For instance, I used to, when I was younger, help. Well, sorry, when I was an EMT and I just started YouTube, I helped teach a class. Some kind of it was like a personal worth course. A little bit interesting. Got some interesting stuff going on there. I wouldn't call it religious, but it definitely had some pseudo-interesting things there. And it's this big thing of discussing and believing in your personal self-worth, and it's also a large portion of it is about financial gain, lots of stuff like that. And the main guy who taught it I personally didn't believe too much in the whole course. It really wasn't my thing. I didn't personally like it too much. I believed in the placebo effect that it provided. I'm gonna be stuck. Damn. Because it really provided a lot of mental worth. You know, if you did the steps, you really didn't have to believe in the whole thing because it would already do so much for you. but I was happy with what it was going for. But that class, the teacher was a recovering alcoholic. And most of the people there were recovering alcoholics. And a lot of them had done some fucked up shit, man. Some fucked up stuff. You know, everything from major crimes to like things, everything small, from massive drug use to robberies to domestic abuse and everything in between. But each and every one of them had turned over a massive new leaf and were actually almost all genuinely good people now. And but at the same time, you know, especially in this world of celebrities and stuff, once you see or hear something, you never want to take anything that would go against your preconceived notions, right? Once you've decided something for someone, you don't want to change your mind ever. And this is the kind of stuff where, like, I see all these people who have turned over a new leaf, and I can't hate them. I just can't, because, you know, like, I don't want to. I don't want to do that kind of stuff, because it's just not, I don't know, like, they seem like they've really changed themselves, and why would I drag skeletons out of the closet, you know? That's not right of me to do. That's not okay. I want to, you know, they've spent some time, they spent time and effort and energy to try to better themselves. And what kind of person doesn't make me to just completely discredit all of that and be like, nope, you did this, you're forever a terrible person. That's literally what the entire play of Les Miserables was all about. Was the idea that a person can change, you know? Granted, he did a lot. Oh, I'm gonna die here. But he didn't do so terrible things, but that was the whole idea of the play. And it provides a lot of asking why. Why this? Why that? Why are you doing this thing? You know, why have you chosen this thing? And what are you doing it for? And, you know, I don't really feel like ending it right now. I was considering ending it, but I don't think I'm going to actually end it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to change the map. I'm just going to swap over to Mob of the Dead, because I really do like Mob of the Dead. It's one of my favorites. There we go. But, you see, that's one of those things where, like, you have to wait a little bit, you know? Now, some people prove that they are not worthy of any kind of forgiveness because they just kept on doing it. For instance, a good example of that would be Bill Cosby. You know, the man did some fucked up shit, and he remained doing some fucked up shit, and so I'm not gonna give him any credit, because it shows that he remained a pretty terrible person. And he did not end up changing almost anything. And even I try my very best to ask the why on him. Even I want to ask the why. But I exhausted all my whys on him. You know? So, like, but for everyone else, I have to kind of take a step back, you know? I have to think. I have to try to think a little bit. Now, you know, not everyone is completely worthy of forgiveness type thing, and he is one of them. But it really depends on the kind of stuff and the person we're talking about, you know? You know, he's run out of time to change. If he's been doing that stuff well into like his 80s, like I've given up hope on that one, you know? You know, that's the thing, is like all these people that I mentioned earlier did this bad stuff in their 20s and so, you know, give around that area, that time frame. And now they're in their 40s and they're changed people. But him, he's in his 80s. He doesn't have much time to change. But I mean, hell, even then, you know, there's that small little suspicion in the gnawing at the back of my head that maybe he turns 100 and he's like genuinely, personally sorry for everything he's done. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. And that's the thing, like I mentioned before, it's hard. It is hard to try to ask why and think farther ahead than just doing a box. But I tried to take it upon myself. There's a reason that Kennedy had that statement in his presidential speech. He said, we don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard. I do it because it's right. The world is not black and white. It is gray. It is so gray. Oh, it is so gray. And that's kind of the whole moral of this entire discussion right now is gray area. One of my favorite characters in gaming, Garrus Vakarian from Mass Effect. He has this great line at the end of his loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2, where he says, it's so much easier to see the world in black and white. Gray, I don't know what to do with gray. And he really brings the mentality of so many people. He doesn't know what to do with this information. Things changed. What he believed that this person who fucked him over and killed all of his friends was just this horrible person. And it turned out that wasn't the case. And he had to live with that. And funny enough, if I recall correctly, he actually in the third game when the Reapers are attacking, he ends up either being a part or attempting to recruit people to help with the mission, and you get a couple war assets for letting him go. It's a really interesting whole little thing there. It's pretty crazy. And gray. The world is so gray. It's hard to see it. And I don't know, man. It's one of those things, especially nowadays especially on the topic of race. You get that a lot. When it comes to race and gender, you see that a lot. You see the us or them thing when it comes to race and gender quite a lot nowadays. I've actually taken it upon myself to, whenever I see any kind of tweet or post or video that starts with "as a white, black, Asian, Mexican person," or "as a man, woman, transgender," anything of that nature. If it starts off with anything like that, I generally do my best to try to ignore it. I try to scroll past it. I try to get past it. Because it seems like it ends up being a large amount of, look at what this side is doing to us. Look at what this side has become. Look at how dare X, Y, or Z, do this, that, or the other thing. And it really ends up it kind of sucks, man. It kind of hurts because, I feel like that's the opposite. It's turning that us or them mentality even bigger. And I don't want us or them mentality in something like this. I want the togetherness, man, Come together, get together. Why are we trying so hard to pull everyone away from each other? That's not right. That's the opposite of the whole goal of it, not separate but equal. That's the whole point. And when you see it so often, it just kind of sucks, it's kind of really unfortunate. And I try to ignore that because I know for a fact that I myself treat everyone the same. I do my best, my absolute best to treat everyone the exact same. And I know that I do a good job at it. I know for a fact that I do a decent job at trying to treat everyone, regardless of any prior thing, the same, because I think my parents taught me well. I think my parents really hammered that into it, that everyone is the same, can think the same, can act the same, can be the same, and if the only difference is physical, that's not enough. That's not enough to make a difference. If someone's an asshole, then they are an asshole. But that's a mental thing. That is a mental decision they have made right there. They have made a conscious decision to do something that is an asshole type thing. But even then, you have to ask yourself the why once again. You have to ask yourself the why. Why are they doing that? Why are they acting this way? There's so much back and forth, and you can't do it, man. It's black and white. Black and white does not work. Black and white does not work. That's black and white type stuff. You can't do that. You gotta you gotta understand the gray. You gotta understand the gray. And the better you understand it, the harder it's going to be, because it is hard understanding the gray of the world. But when you get it, I think you'll feel better. I think you'll just naturally feel better when you do that. Because now this might be a total assumption, all right? And this is maybe a complete assumption, but it seems to me, because I am a happy person. I am an extremely stressed and just emotionally tired person due to just the work that I do. I'm getting way too many gray hairs in this beard right now for 23 years old. But I am a happy person. I really am. I love my life. I love what I do. I love the people I interact with. Things are just good. But but the people who I see the most online who do that kind of thing, who make that kind of us or them mentality, the people who spend so much time going, oh, this race, this gender should be ashamed because of XYZ, paints it in such a broad brush. Again, broad brush, man. It's not black or white. And the people who say the world is full of bad, terrible, this is disgusting. Those people who get the angriest, who are the most upset with that stuff, haven't you noticed that they always seem to be the most anxiety-ridden? They always seem to be the most depressed. Now, now don't get me wrong. Clinical depression is its own thing. If you're clinically depressed, you have a doctor's note. That is your own thing, obviously. But it's interesting. But when you notice it, the people who constantly pull this overwhelming amount of anger to this, to that, and everything in between, to this person, to that person, whose 90% of their tweets are upset with this, that, or the other thing, they're always the ones that tweet out about their anxiety, about their depression, about their all of these things. And I can't help but possibly see a correlation. Do you not? I feel like there has to be a correlation with that kind of stuff, because if you're constantly angry, constantly mad about all these things, like, and then all those people end up talking about their depression or their anxiety, I feel like there has to be some kind of correlation. I don't know. Because I don't do that. I know a lot of friends who don't do that, and they seem like they're really happy people. Maybe I'm just around the right group, I think. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. It seems weird. Because anger and sensitivity, being extremely sensitive about topics, being extremely offended, perhaps, is another good choice about topics. Doing outrage, like anger and being like being offended or taking offense to things. Like, these are not good emotions, and I've mentioned that before. These are bad emotions. These are not things you want to feel. These are bad things. And that's one of those things that I always thought about. Like, if you're always angry about something, if you're always yelling at someone or something, or you're always angry at a certain political group, you're always angry at a political group, you're always angry at a gender, you're always angry at a race, forever. And like that's just not good. That's not good. That's bad. That hurts. Like, how can you be this angry for this long? I can't imagine it. I imagine it would kill me. There's a wonderful quote by Mark Twain. And I remember originally seeing it in, I'm stuck. There we go. I remember seeing it in the Metal Gear Solid 5. Kind of a small tangent there, but it's at the beginning. It's anger is an acid. I even have this tattooed on my leg, funny enough. Anger is an acid that does more harm to the vessel it is stored in than anything it is poured upon. You know? Not, the anger, rage, anything like that will not do fucking shit to whatever you direct it at compared to what it's gonna do to you. And I'm inclined to agree. I'm very inclined to agree. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. I like trying to be a positive force. I like trying to let people back up and wait and think. To allow people to take a step back and to truly think about what they're doing and saying, you know? To really try to ask why regarding all these separate things. I don't know. I just feel like that's I feel like that's just a better way to live. It's a way harder way to live. And whenever I think of somebody as who constantly does that, I immediately see them taking the easy way out. And I mean, you know, I don't blame them. Doing things easier is just, it's the way the world works, but it's too bad that you get so much of it. Be a lot nicer if it was, if people took a step back, you know? Hey, that's even the kind of, oh. I actually crawled beneath. That was a mistake. It's kind of a paradox, though, in its own sense. Because, oh my god, get these guys out of the way. Because, you know, whenever I think of somebody who sees the world that way, I think of them as kind of weak. As a you know, weaker-minded person, because they're taking the easy way. Because they're thinking the easy way. But I can't think that. That's not acceptable. Because you have to ask why. Still, you know? You have to ask yourself why. But I do think those who ask themselves why definitely have a, I don't know, stronger will, I guess. Mindset, thought process. Something along those lines. You know? Who would have guessed that it's hard to not jump to conclusions? You know? But, I don't know, I want to be, I want to do that more. I want to do that a lot more. I want to try my best to force, to understand the gray of the world, to understand the gray, to see where people are coming from, to understand why they are thinking or doing this certain thing. Why? And when I figure it out, I can sleep better at night. That's just the way it is, you know? Even the most terrible of people, sometimes you have to try to ask why. Even though some of the worst people around, you know, sometimes it's good to ask why these terrible people are doing these things. Why is this person so full of anger and vile hatred and stuff? Why are they doing it? It's good to know sometimes. Was that Brutus? Is that Brutus? That's Brutus. That was scary. So, yeah. That's kind of one of those things that I'm trying my best to really understand. Because without that, it just ends up becoming a problem. Because without that mindset, it just ends up being an echo chamber of problems, you know? It becomes an echo chamber of issues, and, you know, we evolve as people significantly better when you are confronted with opposing ideals. That's a fact. Oh wait, I need to grab that thing over there. That's a simple fact. Oh shit, I haven't turned off the electricity over there yet. When you look and see the people that disagree with you, you naturally are able to understand and formulate a better opinion. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And I hope that I can kind of provide that. What the hell? I hope that I can provide that a little bit more. You know? Get out of my way. I want more people to think my way in this state, because even though at the same time I don't want to create an echo chamber, I do want to create tolerance to people. I want people to be tolerant of others, to understand the why they're coming from that position, why they think these things, why they believe these things. Because sometimes you learn. Sometimes you learn a lot from asking why like that. And that's important to them as a person. There's a lot going on with that type of stuff. It's tough, too. It's rather tough. I wish it was easier, but like I said, there's a reason you do it. You don't do it because it's easy. I don't know. I've taken steps to kind of bail off of Twitter more so as of lately. I'm still gonna tweet and stuff, of course. But it's more of like, because that's the thing. Like I said, Twitter is part of this problem, because you don't get to ask why. You have to condense your statement. You know, if I were to say if I were to put on Twitter, I voted Republican, I voted Democrat. If I were to only say those things and nothing but those things, then there'd be a problem. You know, that then you'd basically I'd have half the US just like, wow, super angry. You know, because no one would ask why, because they would immediately box me up. You know, they would immediately box me up. And that's the problem. Because they wouldn't ask why. Like, okay, why did he do this? Was there a reason? You know, what's the reason for it? You know, because no one cares. No one cares to see the bigger picture of it. And that's just the thing, right? You know, it's like you have to kind of back up. You know, and you really, with like everything, with every opinion, even with things like reviews. Like you have to be able to accept, like I said, the opposing ideals. Like, for instance, here's a great example. First off, 0, 5, 3. Okay. Oh shit, that was a 0. 5. Hold up. Got it. Here's a great example. There are 2 YouTubers that I thoroughly like to watch. I like to watch most to all the videos they come out with. Mostly, I'd say. With the occasional in between. That is Jim Sterling of the Jimquisition. Well, he has his Jimquisition series. And also Your Movie Sucks. I think it's .org or whatever. But Your Movie Sucks. They are, one of them, of course, is a game reviewer, sort of, game critic, I guess you would call that. And the other one is a movie reviewer, movie critic, whatever you want to call it. Now, good old Jim Sterling is a very mad man. He is very angry about a lot of things. You know, he finds all the terrible things that go on with the gaming industry, and he just goes to town on them. You know, and I do not agree with him half the time, probably around half the time. You know, he makes some good points a lot of the time. And some of the time, I'm just like, come on, man. No, come on. Take a step back, you know? But what's important is the fact that I can do that. Now, the Your Movie Sucks guy, who I like I said, is very, very critical of his movies. Extremely critical. There are plenty of films that I saw that he completely despised and I enjoyed. But that's fine, because I understand that he has a different opinion. And generally, he's a lot harsher on movies, so naturally, if he likes something, I actually imagine that it's going to be a lot better than it is. It's kind of like if you've ever watched Zero Punctuation. Good old Yahtzee Crenshaw, also a game reviewer. If he basically says one good thing about the game, wow, that's a lot of stuff here. If he basically says one good thing about the game, then it's basically a 10 out of 10 title. You know? Like he spent the entire time listing complaints about Doom, and it was his game of the year. Because I understand how the review works. I get how the review operates. So I'm allowed to disagree with somebody, but still enjoy content from them. You know? John Tron has said some controversial things in the past, but god diggity damn, do I enjoy making flex tape memes. You know it. Like, I'm not gonna stop watching that. That's too high quality content, man. I can't stop watching him. I'm allowed to have controversial. I'm allowed to watch controversial people, or people with opinions I disagree with, and still personally enjoy their stuff, because you have to ask why. Because you gotta ask why. I would title this Fireside Bricky Why if I could. Hell, maybe I will. Maybe I will call it Fireside Bricky Why. Maybe let's call it Fireside Bricky. Because this is probably going to be the final Fireside Bricky. You know? I mean, I was kind of looking to replace Fireside Bricky with the podcast to begin. Oh, is there some? Oh, shit. What the hell? What? This is fair. I was trying to replace Fireside Bricky with the podcast anyway, but the podcast is on hold for quite some time until I get some things fixed. Oh, I'm stuck. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen anytime soon. No idea. But for the time being, like I said, I was finishing up series. And this is going to be one of the last ones. Now, Fireside Bricky naturally... I'm definitely dead here. Fireside Bricky naturally is one of those older running series that has stood the test of time. But like I said, I do want to make different kinds of content instead. So, with that, I'm going to try my very best to really get some interesting stuff going. Really try my best to push out some new stuff and keep a good mindset. And I honestly hope that you keep a good mindset too. Take a step back. Don't jump to conclusions. Ask why. And I think you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. Okay, everyone. My name has been Bricky. It has been a pleasure sharing this last hour with you. And I will see you in the coming videos and Bricky 2.0. Bye-bye.